Good afternoon. I'm going to make the presentation about the activity quality video of the process of the Act1 software certification. We are going to start talking about quality in software development, which allow us to establish a set of methodologies and systematic common works for the persons or people that are involved in the software development activities. We can also establish roles between the developers, analysts, scrum masters, product owners, testers, among other roles that are involved. Also assign the responsibility, who is going to do what, and the definition of the tools and technologies that we are going to use. Software quality is very important because we can see the software prototype as a black box with some inputs and an outputs, and a platform or a program can work, but if it doesn't have a specific and quality processes, it's useless because it's not maintainable and soon is going to be dead as soon as the technologies are updated or the developers are changed, which is very often. And it's very important to detect errors in an early stage in this software process. So we can say that the software quality is determined for the quality of the process. We don't achieve a quality process if we don't have we don't achieve a quality software piece. We don't achieve a quality software processes. It's also important to stay in the budget of the customer, to be competitive in the market, to have customer satisfaction, and I would add an effective maintenance. And the cycle of software quality, we can see it here in this diagram. They define the process, measure this particular process, control these measurements, and based on the measures and the control process, we can improve the process to start over again, defining new process or redefining the same process. What is important to evaluate in this process? The capacity evaluation, which is the individual process evaluation, is the maturity evaluation that evaluates or assesses all processes as a whole in a company or organization. For this demonstration or certification, we have the certification processes. The first we have is the CMMGEV, but this is expensive and it's very complex and it's not achievable for small organizations. In response of the situation, we have the SPICE certification that is cheaper and less complicated and is suitable for a smaller organization, even medium-sized organizations, and is also based in the ISO IEC standard, which can be integrated with other standards of the company. In the SPICE certification, we are going to see that we have different type of audits. The first is the initial audit, the first time that the company followed through this process. The surveillance audit, that the company make this process for second or third time to demonstrate that it's following and maintaining these same systems and processes. The recertification audit, this is performed every 3 years, so the certification process repeats again to see that the company keeps going with the improvements and standards. And extraordinary audits, that are special cases, and this is processes to be re-audited, verify the company, and verify that the company stays in the same standards. Well, in the SPICE, we have this structure of ISO, IEC, and the levels of capacity of each process are these 0 to 5 levels. We have to have in mind that only from level 2 the process is certifiable. This 0 or 1 is not certifiable for this standard. And here we see the characteristics that the process must have. The process is managed, or adapter process is used based on a standard process. The process is managed using quantitative techniques, and the process is improved continuously. And in the levels of maturity, let's remember that the levels of maturity is that the process are evaluated as a whole and is also certifiable from level 2. And we have here this characteristic that the processes are managed, the organization uses processes adapted based on standards, the processes are managed using quantitative techniques, and the processes are improved continuously, which is the most important grade, let's say like that. Well, all the process that the company must go through has 10 parts. We're going to make a brief overview of these parts, but the company must complete it all to achieve the certification. The part 1 are the company adopts or understand the basic concepts and terminology of the certification process. In the part 2, the company must achieve the minimum requirements, and is given to the company a model composed of 2 dimensions. Here is not very clear, but the 2 dimensions are this dimension of the process that relies on ISO, IEC, and the dimension of capacity that defines 6 levels of capacity per Vengo, but I'm going to start here. This dimension of the process that relies on ISO, IEC must contain the documentation to reach the consensus in the community of the organization who is going to go through the process of certification, and the process must have a unique description and its own ID. It means that this process has to be unique and specifically defined. And in the second part of dimensions of capacity that are defined in 6 levels of capacity, we have these levels that are the realization of the process, management and the realization, and these processes go to a grade or a qualification in these 6 levels. We continue with the part 3, which provides guidance for the evaluation reference to the ISO IEC 1554, and the second part, that is the complete overview of the evaluation process for the company, that establishes the framework that the company is going to be through with the certification, and also provides to the company an example of evaluation according to the requirements, so the company can be aware of the processes that is going to go through. The part 4 are in charge of provide guidance, but this time is more oriented to the specific process and is able to determine the actual capability of each process individually. In the part 5 is shown to the company an example to how to perform the assessment according to the specific standard of ISO IEC 1554, and establish a set of indicators that the company must achieve to accomplish this process capability specifically. In the part 6, we have a similar process that the part 5, but this time is oriented to the software development life cycle, and also the standard is changed. So we can see that the number of the standard changed here, that is 15288, and here is the 1554. A As a result of this part 6 process, we have this matrix which indicates the specific process level in the 6 grades, let's say like that, of 6 levels of capability of the specific process. As a part 8 of the process, the companies provided a standard of evaluation based on the ISO IEC 2000, referring to the IT process. This is not software development process. This is the IT processes specifically. In the Part 9 establishes a number of requirements to determine the organization's specific needs. This is oriented more to the organization as a whole and making a profile for every process that is more suitable for the specific profile of the organization. And the Part 10 adds a security component in the extension to the previous point. I'm going to continue in the next video because I don't have enough time in this free recorder with the life cycle software development.